We now go to Ann Arbor, where USC is a 5.5-point favorite on the road at Michigan. Ari, imagine I had told you this 4 months ago, that USC would go to Ann Arbor as a 5.5-point favorite. What would you have said?
I would probably start looking for something that I want to spend $1,000 on. You know what I would have said? USC's defense is improved and Michigan doesn't have a quarterback. And I think that's just what happened, because what happened. You would have to extrapolate, because I had a feeling, I don't think you're going to make a lot of money in this business betting against Lincoln Riley putting together a very good offense. And when they brought in Woody Marks at running back, you know what they have at Zach Branch and some of the guys that they have at the skill positions, Miller Moss is in a pretty advantageous situation for a first-year starter, especially somebody who's stuck around in a program, knows the system, has earned his coach's respect. I didn't think that USC's offense was going to stink this year. You know what I did think, though? I thought that their defense was going to be really bad again. And really bad might have been an improvement from what we saw last year, but they are coming off of a shutout. And I didn't think that USC would be able to shut out a middle school team. So, we are at a point right now where USC is going to score. And they're going to score against everybody they play, because you just can't cover Zach Branch. You just can't do it. So Michigan has a big offense problem, and I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. I don't know if Orgy's going to get the nod. I don't know what's going to happen, but they can't throw the football, Andy. And they do not have a dynamic answer at quarterback the way they did last year to overcome being one-dimensional. Michigan was a very good passing team situationally last year. And if you can't throw the ball at all and teams sell out to stop your run, you're going to have problems, especially against teams that have this much talent at the skill position. So, I don't know where your head's at, but I think I am fully out on Michigan. I haven't had Michigan in my bubble watch at all, which means that I think that they're going to finish outside of the top. Bad at math show. We got first 4 out would be 16 and next 4 out would be 20. So outside of the top 20, I don't think they're a top 20 football team this year. All right. It's sad to say, because they have 3 of the best players in college football on their defense.
I think we're going to find out how good of a coach Sherrone Moore is this week, because good coaches, when faced with a situation where something's not working, try something else. They try something else that gives them a chance to win. Bad coaches just keep doing what they're doing, keep banging their head against the same brick wall over and over, and nothing ever changes. We don't know what Sherrone Moore is. We have not gotten a chance to see him in this situation. Now this is the first chance we get to see him in this situation. Is he going to try something? I will make a suggestion. Now, I am not a professional college football coach, so feel free to not follow my suggestion. But here's my suggestion, Ari. We know Michigan is pretty good at running the ball. We know Michigan is pretty good at developing offensive linemen to run block. We know Alex Orgy's not a great thrower of the football. We know Davis Warren throws lots of interceptions. Which is more dangerous? The quarterback who throws interceptions or the quarterback who runs the ball really well? And oh, by the way, you also have good backs. Well, I think you go with the one who runs the ball really well, but you build an offense that works that way. And I think the South Carolina LSU game, or at least the first half of it, was very instructive for that. You notice in the first half of that game, South Carolina essentially was like, you know what? We're running the option with Lenora Sellers now. That's what we're doing. That's going to be our offense. And LSU was helpless for a half. Lenora Sellers then twists his ankle. Everything's different when Robbie Ashford comes in. But South Carolina would have won that game had Lenora Sellers not gotten hurt. If I'm Sherrone Moore, I go to Alex Orgy and say, you're QB1, and we are going to run the ball. We will occasionally throw it when they put 9 in the box and it makes it really easy for you to throw. But we are going to run the damn ball, and we're going to wear teams down, and we're going to eat clock and steal possessions because our defense is good enough to occasionally get the ball back for us. That's what I would do, because what you're doing isn't working. You have to try something else. Like if Sherrone Moore trots out Davis Warren in the same offense they've been running, especially if Colston Loveland's hurt. Like, we know Colston Loveland went out against Arkansas State. We don't know what his situation is for the USC game. But if he can't play, you're not going to have a functional passing offense. So forget it and try to win the game some other way. I am saying, Ari, that I have faith in Sherrone Moore to figure that out. Because I also think that we've seen USC's offense cut up Utah State and cut up LSU. I don't think LSU's defense is that good. I'm going to go out on a limb. They're improved, but probably not that good. Michigan's defense is better. That doesn't mean they can stop USC every time, but it means they might be able to get some turnovers. This is me showing some faith in Sherrone Moore to figure it out. He can prove, if he proves me wrong, well, that's on me. But I'm thinking he's going to prove me right. So give me Michigan in this one. All right, good night. Sunday. Caleb Williams threw for a yard because Prize Picks, nice enough to give us an almost free Caleb Williams square that I combined with a Jackson Dart square and a Luther Burden square, and it allowed me to win. Play 25, win 125, allowed me to break even on the weekend because, some of my other plays did not go as well as I'd hoped. But that Caleb Williams square every Saturday in September. I'm sorry, every weekend in September. They don't play on Saturdays, but every weekend in September, you get a 1 yard, 1 win Caleb Williams square. Prize Picks is the most fun daily fantasy game in America. You use the code STAPLES. You play $5, you get $50 instantly. How you do it? You pick squares. So you will say, I think Luther Burden's longest reception will be longer than 28.5 yards or shorter than 28.5 yards. And if you get that correct, you win that square. You pick at least 2. You can go up to 5. The more you pick, the higher the potential payout. It is a fun way to play. And man, Caleb Williams hooked me up. Appreciate it. Thank you, Prize Picks, for that one. I felt very confident. And, well, partially because you allowed me to be confident. All right. Download Prize Picks. Use the code STAPLES. Play $5. Get $50.
So you're probably liking the under here too, then.
I'm loving the under in this. Yeah.
Michigan became what it was because it was relentlessly loyal to what it wanted to do. So I have a really hard time of like, okay, we're going to run the option this week. Like
I didn't say run the option, Ari.
No, I know. I'm being theatrical. Like, yeah. I don't know if I buy that. I think what you're saying makes sense. I don't know if I'm buying that they're going to do something like that.
I think if Michigan sells out to just run the ball, and that doesn't have to be running the triple option. They have read option in the offense. Like, they can run a lot of different read option things in the offense that they currently have that nobody has to learn. Everybody already knows the plays. And you just continually run it at USC and try to wear them down because you have what you think are equally talented or more talented players up front.
And in the process, you also make USC have to prove that they really are much better on defense.
Correct.
Because last year's USC team would not be able to contend with that. And also, too, we have to make a note of this. Like, we all came into the season knowing that Donovan Edwards was a star running back. We saw what he did in the national title game last year. But Mullings, I think people think is RB1 there now all of a sudden. I got to go back and watch some more of that Michigan tape. But
listen, Edwards has been really inconsistent. He had a great national championship game, but he was inconsistent all of last year too.
Yeah, but they have 2 really good running backs again. So, like, they're in a position where they have the goods to get first downs and to move the football. But I think that USC is going to score, and I think they're going to score a lot. Like, I'd like USC the over in this game.
So I'm taking Michigan to cover. I know I said I'll take. I wasn't saying Michigan. Give me my 5.5 points, please. I want a little cushion here because again, I might be wrong. This is me showing faith in Sherrone Moore. He has to reward my faith here. But I'll take Michigan to cover the 5.5.
You know what the ironic part of this whole thing is that we are back into the discussion about athletes and whether or not Michigan can keep up. And on the defensive side of the ball, they most certainly can. So
and that's why I have a little faith.
So like it's not like, Will Johnson's not going to be able to cover anybody and that their defensive line isn't going to disturb Miller Moss. We know Michigan has pieces that are going to be high-end NFL draft picks. I think we're going to learn a lot about USC, and I think we're going to find out whether or not you should really start to consider whether you're going to lose this bet.
Hey, this is also a bet for my other bet.
Yeah. Yeah, you might need to start hedging later on in the year, but it's too early.
Okay, mister, I'll give you $800 to buy out of it in February.
Well, that was before the year started. I mean, now they're looking at number 11 here. I have them as the last 4 in Bubble Watch. They have a pretty manageable schedule. Like this game before the season was supposed to be like one of the hallmarks of the Big Ten. And now Michigan is just like not playing well, doesn't have a quarterback, and we're expecting USC. It's not that, they could win. I expect them to win.
You may be texting me at 8:00 Saturday night, like, can I buy my way out again? We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Well, here's the thing too. It's like 10-2 USC probably gets into this thing. So I think that we're going to learn a little bit more here in 3 weeks when they host Penn State. We're going to find out a lot about those two teams. But I think they're better than Wisconsin. I think they're better than Minnesota. I think they're better than Maryland. They're better than Rutgers. They're better than Washington. They're probably better than Nebraska. They're better than UCLA. And right now, people think they'd be favored against Notre Dame. So, like, you look at their schedule, like the pathway to the top 12 is a hell of a lot clearer than I thought it was two weeks ago,
You don't know that yet. You may have a better idea after this weekend, but you don't know that yet. That's the point I'm trying to make here.
But I do know that they're probably better than all those teams I just rattled off. So if they are able to beat
I don't think Michigan's that good. So if they can't beat Michigan, you need to reevaluate everybody else too.
Touche.
All right. Thanks so much for watching.
And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel wherever you listen to your podcast and leave a 5-star review.